Greetings. Okay, I'm not doing the other system. That took like 2 hours to upload, and I lost a lot of my data because of it, my phone data, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that didn't go. That was not a good idea, but I was curious, and yeah, you know where that gets you. So that was like a 600 meg file, and this one hopefully like 100 meg. I'm lucky. So, like 2 hours upload to YouTube. Did not make it to Facebook because of yeah, it took about until almost 2 o'clock in the morning for it to upload finally, something like that, something along those lines. I forget. I think I ended at 12 or 11:30. I forget. So anyway, enough about that. Okay, California is going through a great deal. At least how storm wise. A lot of portals of Ascension are opening. Third dimension doesn't mean like everything's going to start opening up instantly, but California, because they have the virus situation going on, we'll say it's a sideshow, but either way, it's an agenda. And it did start a lot of fires too, from what I believe. We have a focus issue here. Well, can't win them all, so. Yeah, by the way, yeah, my internet should be back up tomorrow afternoon if I'm lucky. So we'll see how it goes. So all right, I'm off the phone. I'm running off the phone right now. So I had to upgrade it a little bit. So if I run out of that, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So what I received that yeah, a lot of portal energies are shifting, and the fires it's burning off old energies. You know, old. I mean, trees have knowledge on them. Old knowledge, you burn it out, it'll grow back. So it's just burning away the old, what needs to go. Basically, it's hard to see it that way. And California plays such a role in controlling the planet, or at least the United States, but probably the agenda of it. Every place has. I mean, we don't hear about the rest of the world very often, so we don't know the whole deal. But California plays a big role. Okay, entertainment and in politics, everything. So they're definitely a major player. So I'm going to connect to the mother of Enki. I might butcher this name, so be kind. Is it Nammu? Mother of Enki. So I might continue with just go through the whole session here with that. I have to look her. I'll put their name on the title, but you have to look her up yourself. I don't think there's a direct idea of what she looks like. It doesn't matter. So she's the mother of the gods, basically, the Sumerian gods. Eventually, I would probably, seeing I'm doing all the Sumerian stuff, I might as well dive into the Indians eventually. Might as well, right? I've channeled them before here and there, not deeply, but, I haven't done these guys that far, so I'm kind of going to the unknown. Here, we'll do something real quick. Just had to see if my audio came back. Okay, I'm just gonna change that. Fan was getting a little bit loud. So it's been thundering. It's been raining here pretty good. You can't go anywhere really. You can go to the beach, I guess, if you want to wear a mask. I guess you don't have to, but there is some freedoms here, but not much. So, all right, blessings. We'll see what else comes through. Let's leave it open. Probably continue with her energies here. Okay. And we'll go into the California energies, and she has a lot to say from what I can say. I think Enki has a lot to say. Everybody, I knew I had to quiet him down. So, all right. He'll be back. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. I am Nammu. Greetings. Yes, the best pronunciation. It doesn't matter how you pronounce my name. Greetings to you. Yes, you are like the foster children. But know a great deal. But see, humanity has, yes, a great amount of knowledge. As you can see, it uses it all the time. That's why it's so stubborn. That's why it does whatever it wants. That's why it's very, even in itself, very controlling. Yes, Anunnaki beings made a lot of mistakes with humans, but the humans make a lot of mistakes with themselves too. As not to cover up, or to make the Anunnaki family look good, but they did not understand the human in the beginning. And it radicalized a lot of Anunnaki beings, made them, yes, the worst side of themselves, as you know. Turned them, yes, into genocidal maniacs. But also birthed a lot of genetic engineering with it too. This is why you have assistance from Palladians and Syrians, Arcturian beings. As this, even they had a difficulty. Once Anunnaki got to work with your Earth, it was no going back. And some of them did not, other aliens did not want to fully interfere. They created other nations to keep an eye on what was going on. It's another reason why your countries are divided. As some are there they feel they're doing the right thing to calm down some of that are, yes, maniacs. Your Middle East is filled with maniacs. A great amount of magicians also. So yes, there's a positive within all that madness. But still, it's not too... Where there is madness, there is brilliance. But yes, still, the suffering of humanity was, yes, overkill. And that karma does go within the Anunnaki families. That is not left. That is not... We have not bypassed that, looked the other way. As much of us got damaged by those decisions made by Anunnaki beings, without naming names. And that went throughout our generations as it went through yours. As we even had to step back from your planet due to what we caused on your planet. So why we are speaking now, yes, is to heal the wounds of the past. There's a lot of alien beings that do not trust us at this time. We're all learning together, but separately, as alien life forms. As yes, there is a for your connection to the alien realities, there is a door opening, a doorway, a light coming through. It is not exactly a bright light, meaning it's not making itself crystal clear, but as you see with your planet at this time, it is shifting its vibration. So as many of you know, recently, of a lot of truths that were made public, that documentary that was mentioned a couple of days ago, a lot of truths that were very hurtful, yes, to your deep state, as they don't like their dirty laundry playing out for everyone to see. And there's always much more. The royals are very much involved. Your Britain is very much involved, more involved than you might think. As many of you probably know. Your Saudis, yes, but your British is your royalty is intertwined in so much corruption they can't keep track of it all. They call it the MI6, I believe, or MI, well, your secrets. I think you understand where we're getting at. So, yes, your secret agencies play a big role in all of this, of course. Of course. But this is the awakening, as you know. The lid is coming off. Now, throughout your next few years, a lot of the pages that have been ripped from your books of time will start to come through. Yes, it'll be, as your UFO knowledge put out there but then buried. But still, that even if it's put out to the public, it still becomes more known over time. So those that are mature to accept it and handle it. Yes, the truth can be very hurtful. So all the things that you believed in is very difficult to believe anymore. Most of your society is they believe they have the truth now. So you bring this alternative truth. They don't know what to believe. As once again, the truth hurts. That's why some say this is fake, that is fake. Even when you have your mass shootings, some that feel it's fake, because there's no way in hell that would ever happen. So we're telling you stuff you already know, basically. The Anunnaki ordeal on your planet, a lot of it has to do with wrestling reptilian energies. There is a Zeta presence, but also a reptilian vibration. As reptilian energies did take over Anunnaki at one time. And made things worse, as many reptilians did not like what the Anunnaki were doing with the human race. As many wars between reptilians and Anunnaki beings. Mostly with them. As they wanted to, you say, bury the Anunnaki presence altogether. But within our presence, though, we did bring a lot of magic into your society. Sometimes too much. As well as that had to be dialed down. What happens with the Anunnaki, well, I keep saying our names, so you're just because. You can say with how we understand the human, as we know how to activate it and shut it down. The right way. Others don't really understand it. You have to be an Anunnaki being. It's just like being a surgeon. You have to be at a certain level of education to do certain things. And turning on a human and turning off a human has to be done by certain, we'll call them lieutenants, that's a human word, but you can call them doctors, you can call them whatever you want. Geneticists, but it's all general terms. I believe you understand. So this is another reason why the humans, now alien beings know a fraction of how to, give downloads, infusions. They know certain aspects of it. Not to say that Anunnaki has full control over humans. No, but we're usually called in for certain tasks. Your Arcturians are very in tune, but a lot of them don't really want to get too involved. There's a heavy presence here. One moment. There is definitely a heavy presence here. They definitely want to make themselves known. All right, we'll continue on. Yes. Notice how they kind of stepped away. Normally, Anunnaki beings are called in to restructure the human. Many alien beings have put it upon themselves, to do genetic engineering on the human, as you say, throughout time. But you can say the Anunnaki recipe has never really quite been figured out. Even though the Anunnaki, the modern Anunnaki doesn't always understand the ancient Anunnaki. Now, it doesn't mean we don't know how to activate a human, but still, there are specific ones that know exactly what to do. Those are very few, actually. Now, some might see that's wrong, and once again, there are certain ways of going about it. There's the right way and there's the wrong way. You can activate a human, and they go crazy and they go insane. Because you want to go into the fourth dimension. You want to activate your powers. You have to go about it in a certain way where your mind, your body, and all your intestines can handle it. If you just do so your aliens have been trying to figure out that code for a long time. I'm not quite figured it out. It has caused a lot of skirmishes, wars with Anunnaki beings, and how to do this. because they can also shut down the chakra. Now, shutting them down is one way, but shutting them down to a way where humans can be totally enslaved and controlled. Now, many have been. A lot of it's through the crown chakra, through the mind chakra, and influence. But humans can break through that, as many of you have realized. Most of society finds it difficult because that is, yes, you call it your matrix energy. We'll just call it that. Others have different names for it. The agenda reality. We'll call it that. The agenda of your elites. Now, there's always several elites, several agendas, as many of you have noticed. Which one gets in there first? A lot of them just want to see what the other is going to do, as it had been with your recent riots that caused all of this. Some step back to see how all of this rides out. What the humans, because what happens, aliens can influence humans, as you know, to turn you into rioters, to become riots, basically. Rioters, riot, whatever, protesters. But we can also influence the solution through intuition. We work through your guides. Sometimes we bypass the guides. We usually work with the guides, but sometimes the guides are constantly feeling our energies. They're talking to you and they're talking to us. What are we going to do? So we're more telepathically connected to them than you are, for the most part. Well, we're aware of it. You're not fully aware. As you're unlocking yourselves through all this maze. So you wonder why you're not seeing the future very clearly. Why isn't all this making itself clear? There's because many of you can kick off an agenda, meaning stop an agenda, which isn't always a bad thing, but sometimes you see too much. You see an astral and you want to disclose certain information and you can't. You feel tired, you feel weak, you feel like I can't say anything, I can't think of anything. What am I doing here? Because many of you see a great deal in astral, you can't say anything. Here in this reality, it makes it very difficult. You can't do anything. You have to wait. There's a lot of waiting going on, as many of you see. And finding something to keep yourself busy is harder. You know, it's like all I have to say is these two words in it publicly on a platform, and everything will be okay, sort of. But you're not allowed to say those two words, and you're not allowed to do any of these things. It has to do with the agenda of the earth. The elites have to do what they have to do. The society is asking, test us, test us, test us. And it's very frustrating for many of you that wish to bring in a new reality, a new alien energy, and so forth. There's many beings that I guess are closing down your reality constantly, shutting you down, making you feel tired. They are using energy weapons. Your California is splitting open. It is allowing new energies to come in, yes. It is a DNA change also for the state itself. It's not fully showing itself. It's kind of keeping itself busy with a disease going on, so it can do much behind the scenes. And there's a great deal happening worldwide behind the scenes. I'm not fully... Yes, there are several events in the works. That's all we can say there. You're adapting to a new energy field. That's why some of you feel very tired. And you are getting upgraded slowly, some of you. A good majority. Many are not ready for the full alien download, of course. Well, yes, your ships can be seen easily in your skies and have an Aztec type of style to the ships themselves. That is very early fourth dimension, too. Or higher fourth dimension, however you want to word it. Basically, why channelings exist, as many of you... Yes, they're helping, yes, remind you who you are, what you're capable of, what chakras you can activate, the knowledge of philosophies of other worlds, because you're bringing that knowledge here slowly. As yes, the world is still having difficulties with its own philosophy, as much of that is alien too, but it's a very controlled environment. Because a certain amount of lessons are here to be learned. That's why there's the control, that's why you have your big brother. There are several of them, but certain lessons that need to be learned by society. It goes on and on throughout history. And Anunnaki, we go through not the same, but alien beings are tested constantly. Some of them are frustrated. They walk away from the earth. They can't take it anymore. They go off the ship. They just see you, watch you from a distance. Many of them forbid themselves to ever be connected here as a ground crew being. Some of them are terrified. Yes, they might lower their vibration, but they might, yes, learn. Some aren't keen to learn that quickly. You also learn very fast. You might not seem like you learn. A lot of people don't learn a lot of things, but they still do. They still learn very fast, even if they unlearn a lot. They're still a learning society. So, yes, you say the Anunnaki are a blessing and a curse. This earth brought in a lot of darkness from themselves that they knew that already existed, but they refused to see. They went about things wrong, and yes, trust me, we're paying for it. You say there's no karma on other planets? I think you can. Trust us, many alien beings remind us of what we have done on this planet. And many other beings have copied our ways too, as you see throughout your current history. A lot of it was done in your Nazi Germany. A lot of the methods, unfortunately. Downloaded knowledge from tablets from the ancient world. And yes, Nazis are very much into the ancient world. The ancient world that's not made public. The shadow ancient world. As yes, your history is blanketed with lies. For good reason. As basically your histories are a little bit more advanced than you might remember. Not too advanced. The weather has been manipulated in a certain way where it's not as hot in some areas. It's just certain tweaks throughout your history. Architecture-wise, a lot of that was in your past. We'll just use Europe, for example. The architecture energies, those that can create things, the lavish designs there. A lot of that was downloaded from your higher elites. Through the more upper classes, but also for all classes. You came to a period in your world where architecture living became more important throughout history, as some of you know, and some of those buildings are very advanced. And you look at modern times, and you look at your modern homes, at least in your America, and you say this thing was made out of paper. Because it is. It's a disposable society. That was just to make it easier for more population to grow. As you are growing more, Europeans grew internally, but it was just a different setup altogether. A lot of them, the harshness of reality, they weren't ready to fully let that go. In modern society, we call it America, but there's other places, of course, where it's like a disposable society. Actual Americans are, yes, healing within themselves. It's painful. You don't need a fancy house. Some do, but they're also healing a lot. Air conditionings and different types of foods doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. You're living like kings currently, and the world is feeling a lot of that energy. But the disposable America, not all of it, but your common housing is usually not the most stylish. I mean, how many of you look at your home and say, wow, that was made by Michelangelo? Not really. We look at Europe compared to America, but once again, Americans are healing what was not able to heal in your Earth's past. Some of it is consuming a lot of food. It's different, or consuming no food for that matter. Body image. Some of them, why some choose body image? Because some of them weren't exactly the most loved people. So it's like, maybe if I look good, people like me. And then you get to know me. It's like, well, at least that person looks good. Too bad they're very difficult to be around. Some of them are always improving their looks, yes, doing plastic surgery or whatever, to be liked by others. Doesn't always work that well, does it? So the internal healing, and it's going on throughout the world, of course, but mainly in America, because a lot of Europeans are here from previous incarnations. They need a different setting. You don't want to be somewhere where you lived in the Black Death. It's good to be in a different zip code for that if you're going to heal from something like that. So your world is going through a massive rejuvenation, and it's past a certain threshold. Now you're going through a timeline change. You're still doing massive healing within. Now you can say throughout history you've always been doing a version of healing, but a lot of it was just experience. Maybe not the best experience, as it went through war. But also there's a lot of soul basically bringing the idea of, some might have problems with this, but the idea was actually to bring souls into this world as fast as possible. That might have been seen as a slow process, but you can take what you feel. But realize, protection to not have children usually is non-existent in your past. The idea is to bring children, bring souls into this world, no matter the conditions. Of course, soul can choose to be here or not. But to continue to, but now that's all, a lot of that's slowed down. So of course, living conditions, and well, it's like if a certain person does not want to have a child, they'll just, their environment will shift, where they either doesn't connected to somebody to have a child or whatever it might be. If it's, there's another way for what do you call it? Birth control. It's called weather control. There's just other ways of changing your environment. So now you're more sustained in a society, and now you're connecting more to technologies. There is a bit of eugenics here, but it's always been that here. As for human trafficking, that's another side of yourselves. Yes, an ugly side of the earth. A lot of it comes from Mars. A lot of it comes from even Jupiter itself. It comes from the universe. A lot of it comes from Orion. There's many places it comes from. Places in Orion, not all of Orion, but parts of it, or dark planets that chose to rule your world. They don't really name, some of them are Anunnaki, but not all. Some are just, yes, gang leaders, you can say. Some of them hijacked the Illuminati. Illuminati actually has been hijacked many, many times, where a new group has come in. I don't believe that's been, well, obviously not recorded in your history. You can't go to school and learn these things. Eventually you will. Eventually your lost history will become, that will be the school of your age. It'll be a fascinating school, wouldn't it? Of everything you've been misguided on. Science, history, by everything. And that will make that is the next stage of your existence here. You're not quite come to the threshold of that, but you're on your way. So send you blessings. Greetings, we have there Atlanteans. Greetings. As the chakras within yourselves are time travelers, time traveling souls, as you all are, connecting much actually to the 12th dimension. A lot of the beings that were created in 12th dimension, finding like the feline, for example, to figure out how to bring that type of being into the third dimension was not as an easy process as it might sound like. Well, it's the elements of creation in the third dimension had to be all right. You can't just have a thought and it's created, yes. In the higher realms, yes, but you're going into a physical reality, which is much different. It's like the feline of the higher dimensions is usually very much different from the third dimension. It's a different environment, as you can see. So a lot of felines in 12th dimension look nothing like your modern ones in your physical realms. What does that look like? Some of them, yes, have different colors, mohawk energies. Their eyes are sometimes different. They do look like a feline face. It just so have them act very differently. They don't want to go into full detail. Well, some even have wings. You don't have any winged cats here, I don't believe. So it's not all, birds. No, there's different feline aspects. But to bring many beings are in the higher dimensions that are not here in the third dimension at all. And that is another reason why your world was created, was to bring other things from the higher dimensions. That because you are all creator beings. You might not feel that, but all humans here. This is a creator world. You have artists. You have different. I mean, even some of you feel like you're a horrible creator. There is something you're good at creating. Some are very good at creating children. Others are better at creating art. Some are good at creating chaos. Of course, that's in all. Of course, in that aspect, everybody's a creator being on all worlds. But this creator world is just you have all different DNA spices here that other worlds don't. And call it like the master, the cooking school of the universe, of invention, reinvention. That's not been fully tapped into. Well, you're still learning your craft, who you are, what's important. You're here still to always perfect. But the creator energies are going to be more part of your society. As that is when you rewrite history through creative. As many have gone into JFK and give you an alternative history in your movies and documentaries, there's much more to dive into. Evidence isn't always that clear, but as you evolve, that evidence will appear. Julius Caesar, Rome, Greece, Atlantis. As you dive more into humanity is resetting itself now. It takes a while for it to allow new libraries of knowledge to come in, but that's what you're doing right now. Now think about it. You look at psychically, you look at ancient Rome, and see it as a different place that's been told in your books, your history books. And it goes on and on. There are different worlds to connect to, different timelines. But it's like a new age of human is being born currently. Some of you are already connected to other aspects of your history. It's just not mentally allowed to come through just yet. We also see alternative as you become more confident in who you are, how multidimensional you truly are. As you become more confident as a multidimensional being, or aliens this will pop out of the woodwork. Still figuring that light. It's a light. It's an energy field within yourself. They're still figuring that out. So some of you might have already figured it out, and some of you are connecting, but become more on a global stage. Yeah, you're rewriting the way the human thinks, and it's never anything that's fast. Rewriting a way a person looks at the universe, the world, is not something that happens, as you know, overnight. Because you're rewriting yourself. What used to cause difficulties in your 20s is now healed. What used to cause a person at your age, like if you're 50 or 60 or 70, would cause your average person problems then, is all healed. We used to have problems with our health. Think about a time when you don't have problems with your health anymore. What do you do to yourselves? So some need difficulties with their health because they're not ready for the information to bring in. I'd rather be sick than connect to like an alternative or a different type of Rome or a different type of Greece or alien being. I'd rather be sick than connect to anything like that. That is what's going on right now. It's like, oh, I have this ailment, I have family members talking about aliens. I feel so sick, and my vision's going away. I have headaches all the time now. Some of you are already experiencing this through certain family members or friends, whatever it might be. So, blessings to all.